I'm going to tell you something as your big bro. Learn to leave it broken. I'm talking about relationships with men who got all these issues because a man will literally tell you things he claims he ain't told the world, show you things about him that's broken. He claims he don't show the world because he's so functional, and it's a trap. He's doing that to trap you into feeling like it's your responsibility to be his rehab center, to be his therapist, to be his mechanic, to be his emotional janitor, always cleaning up the mess that he leaves behind his bad decision making. And I'm here to tell you, the fixers are the first ones to become broken. You go in saying, I'm going to love this man into being healed again. I'm going to love him into being whole again. And you end up being the one that's broken into pieces trying to pick yourself up when you didn't break you to begin with. I know this is a provocative message because we are in a day and age where we're trying to be more validating to men, sharing these weaknesses and issues and flaws, but don't think that a man who uses emotionalism to manipulate you is being emotionally available or he's being vulnerable. He may be manipulating you into a role you were never meant to play. Leave it broken. This ain't like when you was little and your mama said, if you see some trash on the floor, pick it up. Don't walk past it. No. You're an adult now. If you see some trash out here in the dating scene, step right over it. Step right over it. Leave it broken. I can't say this enough because those of you especially who are empaths and you love girls and you got a heart and you know what it was like whenever you needed somebody. You just want to help everybody that you come across who you just don't want to leave them alone. And you want to be that shoulder they can cry on, but you end up being that back that they stab you in. That's what happens. And let me say this. If you're a woman listening to this right now, because I know it's a shame. It's a shame-ridden journey whenever you try to do this and you probably shouldn't, but you do anyway. But you don't have to hold that shame. You don't have to hold the shame of trying to love somebody who you saw was difficult to love because you probably saw you in them. In the sense that at some point you didn't have nobody to love you. When you were broken, you had people who ran away from your brokenness. The difference is you weren't willing to bleed on other people. And that's why you got to leave it broken. Matter of fact, let me say this. If you've ever, any woman listening to this, you don't hear nothing else I say. If you ever try to love a man into his potential, if you ever try to love a man back into being whole when he came to you broken, if you ever tried to play the role of his peace while he kept you in constant chaos, this message is for you. And so is my book, Don't Forget Your Crown, because I talk about this. How to recover your crown after you dropped it for somebody else who didn't know how to hold you. And yes, the book is on Amazon, but you don't have to buy it. It's $30 or something like that on Amazon. I'll give it to you free. If you can relate to anything I've said so far, just the topic at hand, I will literally gift you my book for free. Comment the word crown. If you are a reader or you like audiobooks, I'm going to gift you my best-selling book. It's on Amazon right now. This isn't normally a free thing. I'll gift it to you for free. Comment crown. So that way everybody here leaves with some type of resource that keeps you from repeating old patterns ever again. My book, Don't Forget Your Crown, has blessed thousands and thousands of women who have done this and wanted to turn the tables and put the power back in their hands. Again, it's absolutely free. If you comment the word crown, I'll send it to you. Let me make sure it sends out. But back to what I was saying, I really don't know who needs to hear this. You with this man and you think because you got your flaws too, that all these flaws are created equal and they really are not. You see a man with unhealed trauma and you think, well, I can love him through this. That's real love. You meet a man with commitment issues and you say, well, I'll be the one to make him change that. I'll be the one to inspire him and prove to him not everybody's going to leave him. You meet a man who's emotionally unavailable and you decide, my patience is going to allow him to open up. It's going to be what shows him he'll open up. He can open up here. But here's the truth. You are not a rehab center for broken men. You're a woman who deserves a partner, not a project. That broken thing, that relationship, when I say thing, I'm not talking about the man himself, but that aspect of him that you keep trying to fix, leave it broken. Not because you lack empathy, not because you lack compassion, but because his healing is his assignment, not yours. And by trying to make it your assignment, you're going to be the one that fails. Daniel Bird says, tired after 25 years. That's exactly what happens. You get exhausted. And I'll tell you why a lot of times this happens. And I know this is going to be something that offends a lot of people, but I mean, I'm here to tell the truth. Nothing but the truth. So help me God. It's usually a mother or a father wound where you had parents that required you to hold their emotions and to compensate for their emotions and their stress and to navigate it in order to be loved. You had parents that may have struggled with emotional regulation and things they were going through and the money problems and relationship problems and everything else. And you felt like you had to be there for them and to navigate those landmines in order to be loved. It basically taught you that love means fixing people. But that's how caretakers are made, not how partnerships are built. And you're not this person's caretaker. You're not. I know we all have things that have gone on in our childhood. It doesn't make you damaged beyond repair or anything like that. But if you were raised by a broken parent, even though they did their best and they loved you and they provided shelter and they did all of those things, you may confuse nurturing dysfunction with demonstrating love. Your childhood template for love, it was probably somebody who was working overtime to save someone who wouldn't save themselves or maybe didn't have the tools. That doesn't make you a bad person. But when you put this in perspective, you understand how to not overplay your role in your adult relationships that's only making you continue to pattern. This is not how you get love. Furthermore, broken men are attracted to women who have healing energy. The same way addicts are attracted to enablers. Broken men recognize their supplier. I want to make it clear to you. Your compassion isn't inspiration for a man's growth if he's broken. It's insurance against his accountability. There are men out here who truly believe that because they've experienced some type of trauma that gives them a permission slip to create more victims of trauma. And so when you come across a man who got all of these issues to fix, you assume and project onto him that he wants to fix them. No. He may be addicted to the fruits of being this victim, the rewards of being this victim. I know. I'll be the bad guy and say the truth. I'll say the quiet part out loud. A lot of broken men, they don't even want help changing. If it was something you should do, they don't even want help changing. They want your acceptance of their refusal to change. They want they want you to coddle them. They want to use you up. He's not with you because your love is so transformative. He's with you because your tolerance is convenient. You're thinking that you're helping him heal. But in reality, you're actually providing a safe space for him to stay broken without consequences. This means that your empathy, it becomes his escape from his own personal development. Every time that you accept less, you're just confirming that he never has to become more. That's why you stay in these situations and you're saying, hey, I need you to do more. Hey, I need you. Okay, I understand. But, and he ain't trying to hear that. He would have already gotten the message by the time he met you. Unless you meet a man, he's 20 years old, 21 years old. He would have already gotten the message. That man, 40 years old. He is comfortable there. He's comfortable there. Leave it broken. Stop feeling guilty because you don't jump into rescue mode. His brokenness isn't a cry for help that you just so happen to be the one to hear. It's bait that you voluntarily swallowed. See it for what it is. It doesn't make you callous. It doesn't make you mean-spirited. It just means you understand that broken men, a lot of times, they don't accidentally attract fixers. They actively seek out those women whose wounds match their needs. Yes, it is a wound. If you have a helper complex, that is a wound. And his helplessness complex found you by design, not by coincidence. Like, I know I didn't say this was going to be an easy message to hear, but I say this with love. Because a man will come in, and what he'll do is he'll tell you about his traumatic childhood, right? And it's not even because he wants to be vulnerable with you. It's to set the expectations low. He'll share his past heartbreaks, not because he wants to open up to you, but because he wants to justify his poor treatment that he's going to give you. He'll reveal his struggles, not to be authentic with you, but to manufacture your sympathy. You thought you were connecting with him and he would be in a safe space. No, he was constructing a narrative where you tolerate his dysfunction because you understand his pain. That's what he was doing. Every hour you invest in fixing this man is an hour stolen from building yourself, and he knows it. He knows it. You think that you're the exception and you're going to be the one who will succeed where all the other women failed, or maybe they didn't care to help him. They didn't care to stand by his side. And no, you're just the latest volunteer in a long line of women who believe the exact same thing he made you believe. His exes, they aren't his problem. His pattern is. And now you're becoming a part of it. Unless you leave it broken. I know. Well, you're supposed to be there for him. Be there from a distance, not with your heart, not with your mental health at his disposal. If you're going to be there for him, be there from a distance. Be a text message away. Not trying to build a life with somebody who hasn't built themselves up so that they can truly love somebody without breaking that person. The woman before you thought her love was special too, and the one after you was going to think the exact same thing. Leave it broken. I know. This sounds callous. I'm not trying to be messed up. I have all the empathy in the world for men who are, having challenges with their mental health. I've had my own challenges. But guess what? That was nobody's work but mine to do. Whenever I was at my lowest and at my darkest, that was nobody's work but mine to do. Support system, great. But work, that was on me. And you might mess around and come across a man, somebody said it, NPDs, narcissistic personality disorder having men. Covert narcs actually leverage the victim narrative. A lot of people think that a covert narc, and I don't talk about narcissism as much as I used to because a lot of people have overused the term, but it is real. Narcissists do exist. Covert narcs aren't the ones who are just really manipulative and secretive. I actually talked about this with my inner circle members. But covert narcs are the ones who feign victimhood. As opposed to the boastful, bragging, malignant narcissist, the covert narc is the one that leverages, I've been hurt so much, the world is against me, I've been beaten and battered and broken and bruised, because it mirrors real victims. And that's who they're looking to connect with to further victimize. Now, I don't want to go too deep into this. I did talk about this, I think it was chapter 12 of my Don't Forget Your Crown book. I may need to do another course on this though. But yeah, comment the word crown. I talked about this in chapter 12, the covert narc, the deceitful nature of a covert narc, and it's completely separate from all the stuff I heard on YouTube. And oh my gosh, comment the word crown. I'll send you the full book for free. It's inside my inner circle. So back to what I was saying. A man will weaponize his self-awareness of being traumatized, admitting that he's damaged, like that confession is the exact same thing as change. And I'm not sitting here bashing broken men. I want to reveal some of the tactics of these broken men who break others. A lot of them have mastered naming their issues while refusing to address them. Don't confuse the two. Because he can name his issues. Be wary that means that he's done the work to address them. His psychological vocabulary doesn't mean that he's healing. It means he's learned how to sound like he is. So he'll tell you things like, I know I have abandonment issues, right before abandoning you. He'll say, I'm aware that sometimes I self-sabotage, right before sabotaging the relationship. He'll read all the therapy books. He'll know all the trauma terminology, all the therapy speak. He can articulate his patterns with academic precision, but never actually disrupt those patterns. This is the truth they don't want y'all to get. His self-awareness has become a shield against accountability. So you think that you're dealing with somebody who's on their healing journey, but really he's just somebody who has memorized the map without taking a single step. I don't know who this message is for. If so far something I said has resonated with you, just put your money away. I don't ask for that, but do pay it forward. Hit the share button so we can get this out to more people, because broken men are out here breaking other women at an alarming rate. And nobody's talking about it because we want to be empathetic. And I love that. We want to be supportive of men who are speaking up about what they're challenged with. I love that too. But it is being perverted. It is being used for the wrong reasons. And nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about that. And you don't have to be a casualty or a martyr for your relationship to work. No relationship that you belong in should require you to sacrifice everything that you need to make space for this broken man to eventually heal in a relationship and then become the man who can properly love you. That's not how partnerships work. You can't be his therapist and his life partner. One is going to sacrifice the other. One has to sacrifice the other. And again, if you've been the rehab center for a broken man ever, especially one who refused recovery, I promise you, don't forget your crown. That's my best-selling book. Will teach you how to discharge yourself permanently. I'm not even selling it to you. It's on Amazon. I don't have to sell it. It's over 500,000 copies sold. Thousands of reviews on there. You go and check for yourself. It's $30 on Amazon. I'm saying I'll give it to you for free. Comment the word crown. Matter of fact, I put the link down there in the comments. Comment the word crown. I'll send it to you because I want everybody within the sound of my voice to have the resources to stop this pattern. More and more and more women are out here getting hurt. And y'all, I get it. You want to be empathetic. You want to be caring. You want to be loving. You want to be soft. You don't want to judge him like men say the world does whenever we got pain and issues and mental health struggles. And, you don't want to be that place where the man always has to have all the answers. I get that. But you still shouldn't overcorrect to where you don't require that man to come in at least functional enough to love you properly. Just because you don't have a prejudice against men who are still doing the work, still got some work to do, that don't mean you should allow any man to come in bleeding on you from wounds you never created. No. Leave it broken. Give yourself permission to leave it broken, not because you lack the capacity to care, but because his healing journey is his path to walk. Your journey is about building a life with somebody who's already walked theirs. Their healing journey. You're not abandoning him. You're just refusing to abandon yourself. That same energy you using to rescue him is the energy you need to reclaim you. Let broken men stay broken until they love themselves enough to do the work to repair. That is not your job. It is not, sis. Your worth is not proven through rehabilitation projects being completed. Your worth is demonstrated through the wisdom of knowing which projects were never yours to begin with. And I'm going to leave it at that. But if you agree with what I said, if you found truth in what I said, find a little arrow down there and hit the share button so we can spread this truth to somebody else. If you're not afraid to stand on it, because I know this is kind of provocative. So if you're not afraid to stand on truth, hit the share button and then comment the word shared so I can shout you out and show you some love. I'm your internet big bro. You know I got your back. And again, y'all be asking me, Derrick, do you have books? Some of y'all don't know I have books because I don't do a lot of promotion on here. They sell just fine without it. I have 15 books. And you can get my best-selling book along with the others absolutely free by commenting the word crown. I will send it to you free. It will be inside my inner circle. This is a private community where you can start a free trial. You can get the books and then cancel if you want. There's no commitment, no contract. I'm literally telling you how to get my best-selling book absolutely free. Comment the word crown. Go inside the inner circle. I put the directions in there and it's yours. Holla at y'all later. Y'all be good. Peace.